All right, I've got 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting of the Finance Committee to order for Thursday, March 9th, 2023, in the Wacoit Meeting Room at Mashpee Town Hall. First order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And if we can have a moment of silence for those who have lost their lives in service to our community. Thank you. Is there anyone here for public comment? No? All right. We'll take a motion for the approval of the meetings for the Finance Committee meeting of Thursday, March 2nd, 2023 in open session.
Motion?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard? Glenn?
Can I vote?
Yeah, abstain.
Okay, abstain.
Thank you. All right, so they're approved with one abstention. Thompson.
Public hearing notice, Mashpee Finance Committee, fiscal year 2024 operating budget. Pursuant to Section 6-6 of the Charter of the Town of Mashpee, the Finance Committee will conduct a hearing on the fiscal year 2024 operating budget of the Town of Mashpee, submitted by the Town Manager. Said hearing will be held on Thursday, March 9th, 2023, at 6:30 p.m. in the Wacoit Meeting Room, Mashpee Town Hall, 16 Great Neck Road North, Mashpee, Mass. Copies of the budget are available in the office of the Town Manager. This is broadcast live on local cable channel 18, streamed live on the Town Mashpee website, https://www.mashpeema.gov/channel18. You can submit comments and questions via email to fincom@mashpeema.gov prior to the meeting. Per order of the Mashpee Finance Committee, Jeffrey C. Pentongill, Chair, A. Gregory McKelvey, Vice Chair, Darlene G. Furbush, Clerk, Jamie Shu, Lee Smith, Richard Weiner, and Glenn Thompson.
This public hearing is now open. Anybody here for the public hearing? Seeing none?
I make a motion to close the public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any opposition to closing the public hearing? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent, the public hearing is closed. Thank you. Next item of business, correspondence and communications. Nobody from the select board, nobody from the school committee. I do have something that I just received in the mail. It's from Cape Cod Technical High School. March 3rd, 2023, Mashpee Town Treasurer, 16 Great Neck Road North, Mashpee, Mass. 02649. Dear Town Treasurer, the figures below represent the assessment to your community for FY 2024 based on the budget approved at the February 16th, 2023 school committee meeting. These assessments are based on the state preliminary required contributions as supplied by the DESE based on the governor's budget. Your total assessment is $981,293, paid as follows. August 1, 2023, $394,388. November 1, 2023, $294,388. February 1st, 2024, $196,259. May 1st, 2024, $196,258. In addition, the FY '24 payment for the capital project is due and is payable as follows. August 1, 2023, $133,443. November 1, 2023, $133,443. February 1, 2024, $88,962. May 1st, 2024, $88,962. Respectfully, Anthony Tullio, Chairman, Cape Cod Regional Technical High School, School District School Committee. So that's what we're owing them for next year. All right, so that's all.
Did we get a copy of that?
Yeah, you can.
We will, or did it already come?
No, this came
Oh, okay.
in the mail itself today, in the mailbox upstairs. See that, everybody can get a copy of that. Old business. For old business, what we've got is the articles we've gone over previously on the special warrant. What I'm going to suggest is if there's any article that anyone wants to review, discuss further, that we take the, vote to take the hold off, make the necessary motion, and then have the discussion. So, is there any article that anybody wants to go back over at this time?
Yes, I would like to go over the article about the boat ramp.
All right,
It's in the special.
yep, there are 7.
Yes, and I see that the select committee has put that on hold, and after reading the explanation of it, I felt that I would recommend it, but I would like the committee to.
So, make a
Which
make a
one?
motion to remove the hold on special article number 7.
In,
For the special, we're still dealing with the first draft.
gotcha, okay.
All right, sure. We're not gonna deal with that because I haven't cross-referenced those yet. When we start going through the annual, we'll go through draft 2 because it's all brand new. All right, so we've got a motion to remove the hold off Article 7 in the special warrant, which is the boat ramp. Is there a second?
Second.
Any opposition to removing the hold on that article? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. And now, let's see. Now, would you like to make a motion to recommend, Lee?
Yes.
All right, we've got a motion to recommend Article 7. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, why do you want to take it off the wholly?
I read the explanation of the need for it.
Right.
And it sounded as though if we did not do it, that it was so deteriorated that some of the concrete was actually going into the water and causing some problems, actually even in the water. But it just seemed like it was so old and boats were getting stuck there that I thought it was, the explanation I received was proof to me that it's probably needed.
Any further discussion on that article?
Well, I got an email today from a constituent who lives in that area that was concerned about the parking situation there, the actual need for the boat ramp, the communication with the residents regarding the boat ramp, lack of communication by the residents about the boat ramp. And this resident who lives on the street was opposed to the boat ramp, fixing of that. So just thought I'd put that out there.
Any further discussion?
Is this the original boat ramp that was installed back in whatever year it was? Has it ever been repaired before?
I don't know. Mr. Collins?
Talking about Pirates Cove?
Yeah.
Pirates Cove was done about, I can't give you a year on when it was done, but it was done probably 10 years ago, 8 years ago, somewhere in there. They had redesigned the float out there because it was in need of being more stable. There is no room, additional room there to add parking or anything like that. There's very limited space. And what we're having is a very big holdup in allowing for boats to get in and out because you have the one ramp. They're adding another float to the side so that will take some of the stress off of parking down there and getting your boat in the water. So that's one of the reasons they're doing it. Then you have the scour pads where people are power loading their boats and digging up all the sand underneath, and they're redoing that with concrete they'll put out to allow for it not to erode any further than it has. On top of that, I think some of the pilings and things have to be reset, so that's why it's being done. As far as parking goes, I know we've had that question asked several times. There's no way to add any parking. We just don't have any room down there. There's only so much room. So the parking is going up the street. There is some allowed by the board to park where if you have a sticker, you can park further up the road. Even further than there is people that are out of state or out of town.
Does someone monitor those people as far as if they have stickers or not?
We have the PD that will check on a random basis. I'm not saying they go every single day and every single minute, but there is a check on that as well as the other boat ramps.
If they don't have a sticker, it's enforceable.
Gotcha.
Anything else? Hey, hearing no further discussion, we'll take a vote on recommending Article 7 for the boat ramp. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
No.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
I'm a yes. And to recommend. All right, so we'll list there. All right, anything else on the special anybody wants to revisit? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Mr. Town Manager, do you have anything you want to update us on that's not related to the budget?
I don't, I know the chair. Gotta practice what I preach. Go to the mic. I know the chair had some questions. To the best of my knowledge, we answered them. And unless there are further questions, I don't have anything for you.
No, as far as I know, they were all pertaining to the previous articles, and so nothing's come up for that, so evidently it answered questions. So we're good on that, so we'll see what happens going forward.
If anybody on the committee's got any questions, be more than happy to try to answer them. If not, I'm going to go home and watch the Bruins.
I'm just curious, we got a second draft of the warrant tonight, and I'm just curious if we have any numbers for the upcoming contracts as of yet.
We are vigorously working on them. To answer your question, no.
Okay.
Right now, there is a shortage of staff, and there's also some other things going on that's causing delays. But we're working as quickly as we possibly can. There's a lot to the formula because of differentials and all sorts of things that have to be factored in order to make sure that we have the figures accurately. But we hope to have those in time for the warrant to be executed on the 20th? 20th. But I got to tell you, I'm a little concerned about whether or not we're going to have all of them. It looks like we have tentative agreements, subject to ratification, but I am worried about having all of the figures calculated by the 20th with certainty. But we're doing the best we can. I mean, we had some last-minute negotiation, and it has put us in the position we are.
If they're not finished by the 20th, what happens?
Well, there's one of two things that can happen. We can, or I should say not we, the board can execute as is, plugging the figure in at town meeting. Try not to do that, but I know we've done that in the past. The only other option is waiting until October. Given the climate, I would certainly want to try to plug the figure in and publicize it as much as we possibly can just before town meeting. I wouldn't want to wait until October and delay things for the sake of the employees impacted, but on the other hand, it would be nice to have the figures to look at when the book gets printed.
Sure would.
And I understand that. I mean, all I can tell you is we're working vigorously to get that to happen. But it's not as simple as just taking a base pay and saying, plug that in times 6. It's not that simple.
We'll take your word for it.
The salaried people, that's easy. You know what it is, but it's a little different in some of these other terms and conditions.
Is there anything you want to fill us in on regarding the capital article?
I think your vice chair would be more than capable of filling you in, but in all honesty, we had a robust discussion relative to the items. There were 2 items that were added. One was the fire truck, and the other was the, what is it called? The
Bucket truck.
the what?
Bucket truck?
Yeah, the bucket truck. I guess that's the name of it, bucket truck. The bucket truck is for DPW, and obviously the truck is for the fire department. For DPW, it was explained that it would save some contracted services in terms of funds because of the items that were being projected. I know your vice chair sat through the CIP meetings as I did, and in the end, it was determined by majority to add it. And there was a funding source identified for all of the items that were placed on the capital improvement program plan. It was either from capital reserves, or it was, there were several items that were put in a debt exclusion.
Right. One question I have as I look at that, the capital, Rodney, this is regarding the air conditioner real quick, the air conditioner units and things we talked about with the schools. And there was there was money coming from the school choice accounts and some other funds that they had to help out that number. Does that $8 million, does that include their number of 3,995,000?
I would want to check my notes, but I believe the ESSER funds were, you know what, I want to be sure.
Right.
But I think the breakdown was ESSER funds were a portion, and then school choice was a portion.
Right.
And then we obviously had a portion, and I want to say it was 1.7.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
That rings a bell to me, but I don't see that explained in here, though. And that's what I'm concerned about, because there is a portion coming that they did use, and it was $3,900,000.
Yes. No, that would
But I
all-
don't see that reflected anywhere,
No,
so I
that
want
would
to make sure
all-
people know that.
Yeah, that would be in a narrative. And I think I mentioned when we were in committee that it would be probably appropriate to make sure there's some sort of a memo going out with that.
Right, right,
And it sounds like it's something we probably should make sure is delineated in the
Yes.
report.
right. But it's not part of that, or, because those funds, that has to meet a debt exclusion. I mean, in other words, that has to be voted on by the town that those funds are used. Is that correct?
Well, you've got a two-prong approach,
Right.
as you know.
Yep.
We're going to go to town meeting, and there has to be a vote there. And then, let's say it passes at town meeting, then it goes to a ballot for a majority vote. And it has to pass both.
Right.
Are you still looking for the 66 million as being the budget? 66 millions?
Yes.
And the bucket truck, and the fire truck is that included in the 66 million?
It's part of the CIP, but you're going to see a debt exclusion that is in addition to that. So to answer your question, everything on that debt exclusion, which I believe, Greg, 8 million,
Yeah,
right?
8 million, right. Oh, here we go.
Okay, now that I've got this right in front of me. If you take a look at your new articles, if you go to number 11,
Page 11 or Article 11?
I'm sorry, page 16, Article 11.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
So that would include the purchase of a new fire truck, Mashpee Public Schools HVAC replacement, design, engineering, and construction, Town Hall HVAC, water piping, design and construction, Police Department HVAC replacement, design, engineering, and construction, DPW roof replacement, design, engineering, and construction.
And that's going to all be above the 66 mil.
Yes, that's 8 million.
All right, now,
Well, $8 million is nothing to sneeze at, but it's a far cry from the,
Well, we started out.
$26 million.
If I'm not mistaken, and you were there
Yeah.
when this started, and if I'm wrong, then you correct me, I think it was 26 million.
yeah. That was the original request just for the school, plus the.
No, that
the-
included a couple other buildings.
Oh, they included, that's
Yeah.
right, this building and the police department.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we scaled down this building in regards to the HVAC.
Yep.
We believe that, based on what we're hearing, the piping downstairs has to be replaced. It's leaking and it's bad, but we're holding off on the HVAC system.
So, looking at Article 3, I'm not seeing the fire truck on there. Article 11 is listed, but on Article 3, which lists all the CIP items?
This isn't CIP, this is a debt.
Okay,
It went through CIP.
I'm sorry.
Right.
okay.
I'm sorry. I should have clarified that, Mr.
Right.
Chair.
That's
No,
right.
no,
Well, I
that's.
saw the bucket truck on the
No, no,
CIP
no.
list, so
No,
that's
I
why I was
should have,
looking for the fire truck.
I should have
Yeah.
clarified that.
All right.
It was processed through CIP, but it was these items that were determined to go to the debt exclusion.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
And on Article 11, there is the fire truck.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, there it is, I see it, okay. So, right, so everything on page 12, well, Article 3 here, we have a funding source for that.
Yes,
And so the other articles is because we did not have a funding source and had to go to the debt exclusion for that.
you are correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I can, as we go forward,
Yep.
I can talk more about the meeting and any questions anyone has about that, so. But there was some real creative thinking in that meeting to get us out from $26 million to what we have now. So quite a bit of negotiation, quite a bit of looking outside the box a little bit, and I think $8 million,
Yeah.
a lot for our money.
And I think what also has to be kept in mind is the scope changed as we got into discussions. Like, for instance, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to sit here and speak for the school, but I believe the scope changed in regards to certain corridors and the cafeteria and the gym.
Right.
I think that is not included, but there were classrooms that were identified that would be taken care of. And rather than coming up with an entirely new system, it was a modification of the current system. So there was a lot of back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, there was some robust discussion, and I know it sounds like a lot,
Sure it is.
but you should have seen what we started with.
And that's what leadership does. Leadership pares it down, puts it on the table, and tries to come up with solutions that are going to benefit everyone. And your leadership was part of that, so thank you very much.
Anything else for the town manager? All right, hearing none. We're complete with you for tonight.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
See what comes up out of our going through the articles.
We'll see you at the next occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go Bruins.
Enjoy the game.
All right, now we move on to the annual town meeting warrant. We'll go through draft 2, go through them in order. Starting with Article 1, to see if the town will vote to accept the reports of the town officers or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion for this article?
So moved.
Moving to what?
To approve.
Okay, to recommend. All right, so we've got a motion to recommend Article 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on Article 1? Hearing none, we'll move to a.
Well, it's a
Yeah, okay.
big budget, right?
We're just talking about Article 1.
Oh, sorry. That's the next part, sorry. But still a big budget.
Yeah, it is. But we're still working on recommending Article 1.
Got you.
Except we still don't have any money. Still don't have any money in that amount, do we?
No.
There's a,
Yeah, Article 1 is to approve the town reports.
Oh, I'm looking at some money.
Yeah, you're looking at the
So-
special part.
Oh, sorry.
So we're on the annual part.
Oh, I apologize.
That's all right. Page 6.
That's why I'm thinking, okay.
All right. No further discussion. We'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. 0, all right. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to fix the salaries of the following elected officers as provided in Chapter 41, Section 108 of the Massachusetts General Laws for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2024, and further, to see if the town will vote to appropriate, raise, and/or transfer a sum of money to defray the town's expenses for the ensuing fiscal year according to the following line item budget, with the maximum amount to be appropriated as shown in the column entitled FY24 Department Request, see Omnibus Budget, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend this article?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion on Article 2, which is the annual operating budget of $66,883,590?
My only point would be that coming down the road, as Mr. Collins indicated tonight, we're going to get some more numbers regarding the contracted salaries with the unions. So this is the number, but those contracts will change that number at some point. So we've got to keep that in mind.
In 2026, they will be, or 2025, they will be hired by those amounts, yes.
Right.
So, you know, the only issue I've got is the language of the article itself, and I have this every time, because it says that it's the column entitled FY 2024 Budget Request, and it's not, because it's the FY 2024 Town Manager Recommendation.
Right.
But there's nothing we can do anything about. Just would like everybody to know
Had a
what.
conversation with him once or twice about this?
Oh, it's been discussed a couple of times over the years. All right, any further discussion on Article number 2?
This fixes that number then at 66,883.
Yes.
Okay.
And this, we've seen this budget for a while now.
Yes.
We've
Yeah, this is-
discussed it, looked at it at different
Yeah.
meetings that we've had.
Yeah, the means we have brought.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right, hearing no further discussion, we'll take a vote. We'll start with Glenn.
Yes.
Yes.
Dick? Lee? Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
66 million gone.
Yeah, just like,
Gives you a little chill down your back, doesn't it?
All right, Article number 3. To see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer the sum of $6,578,527 from available funds to various department capital accounts as specified in the chart accompanying this article, or take any other action relating thereto. Total amount is $6,578,527. Is there a motion to recommend this article?
this is a supplemental?
No, this is the capital improvements.
Number 3.
Or just capital improvements?
I so moved, recommend.
And I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
Any questions anybody has? Anybody, any of these? I was at the meetings.
Yeah.
It was an interesting process. I mean, you get there with a number, and there is a plan out there that kind of dictates this. And as you go through it, you begin to weed some things down. Like Mr. Collins said, originally the school system HVAC was priced at $26 million.
Yeah.
But that changed, and everything that's listed here has a funding source that's presented.
But the HVAC system is not in here, is it?
There is
There is some of
under
it,
planning and construction, there's a part of it that is. And that's from the schools funds as well as my understanding from the school fund as well as some CIP funds right there. That's part of that, but the rest of it comes over in the debt exclusion later. So that's
Yeah, but I
not,
don't see it in here, any of that planning stuff that you're mentioning.
It's under planning
It's
and
under
construction.
planning and construction, Richard.
Page number 12.
Right here.
Okay.
There it is.
I would have thought it would have been under the schools.
For example, you have the purchase of an ambulance, that's coming out of ambulance receipts funds, as we talked about that. Also, the resurfacing of pickleball courts, that's also coming out of a revolving fund, that's going to be, that's paid for. The bucket truck will pay for itself at about, each year, we were told by the DPW, it's about $75,000 for the time period that they rent it for the year, and they're not renting it for the whole time of the year either, just a period of time. So after 3 years, this will pay for itself, so.
So as you were going through this and you were moving stuff out of this list, were you looking at how far down the road some of these projects were being
Right.
pushed?
There are some, in the list, I don't know if the whole list, I don't think the whole list is in here, but there's some that are pushed back to next year,
Yeah.
the year after that. So it's a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you have just a rough estimate of what got moved to next year?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have my book with me, so I don't remember off the top of my head now.
All right. I'm just trying to get a sense of what we might be looking at next year.
Right.
Who does the work for the HVAC system? Is that done by, where's that go under that 6 mil?
That'll be contracted out.
From the DPW or where?
Yes, yes.
Any further discussion on Article number 3?
Oh, yeah, and I'd say another important thing under planning and construction, Richard, is just the fact that engineering and design, so some of that funding is for engineering and design, it's for future engineering and design, right? Looking at that 2-year, 3-year plan down the road. So some of that's for future plan and design, so they can come back and say, we've planned and designed, now we need the funding to go forward, if we want to.
So it's not the,
Some of it will be used for that, yes, for plan and design and engineering, so.
so it's going to be a multi-phase kind of project? That's not called out, but that's,
All right. Any further discussion?
and that falls under DPW too.
Yeah, to do that. As far as making those bids, getting the contracts out, getting the grants out, if there's anything like that. And that's what they do. That's one of the big things that they do, is work on
What I
that.
gave you,
I understand that, but that's how it is now, so.
All right, let's vote to recommend, whether or not to recommend Article number 3.
I see that the select board held it. Do I see that right?
Yeah, they did.
It is.
I didn't watch that whole thing, so I guess I don't know why.
Jamie,
Yes.
Darlene,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Richard,
yes,
Glenn, I'm a yes. All right, Article number 4. To see if the town will vote to approve the annual regional school district budget for the Cape Cod Regional Technical High School District for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, in the amount of $16,750,000. And further, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $981,293 to meet its share of the cost of operation and maintenance of the Cape Cod Regional Technical High School District for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend?
Motion to recommend.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
I just have a question about, I know that the amount is based on the number of students
Mm-hmm.
who go from Mashpee. Do they look at the students that are there presently, or they're looking at who would be enrolled?
Presently.
Presently, okay,
It's based on the current population that's going there.
thank you.
there's 50 students that go there now, and we're appropriating $16 million. Seems like a big number.
No, 16 million is the total budget for the school.
okay.
We're only paying 981,000.
81,000, okay, for 50 students.
That's correct. I think that's up from what it was last year.
Yeah.
But everything goes up.
No, I mean the number of students.
Oh, yes.
The select board held this one too?
I wonder if they had the numbers, but they should have.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did they, they may not have had the numbers by then,
Right.
the other day.
Well, the number on here matches what you just read in
Yes,
the
it
mail.
does, yep. Yeah, but who knows whether they took the action before the number got added.
Did they have the numbers?
didn't have the numbers.
That's roughly about $20,000 a student.
Any further discussion on Article number 4? Alright, hearing none, we'll take a vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes,
Lee?
Yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a yes. All right. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to approve the regional school district debt assessment for the Cape Cod Regional Technical High School District Building Project for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, in the amount of $5,907,075. And further, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $444,810 to meet its share of the cost of debt for the Cape Cod Regional Technical High School District Building Project for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, or take any other action related thereto. Is there a motion to recommend?
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Any discussion on Article number 5?
I have a question, and that is, the language says that we'll vote to raise and appropriate. Raising, does that mean from an existing fund that we have, or is that some outside source? I'm not sure exactly.
It's standard language that means that through taxes, the funds are raised, or
Okay.
through our free cash or whatever.
Okay.
But it gives the town the authority to do whatever it needs to do to be able to pay that.
So it is an internal, it's not like we're having to go out.
Right,
Have a
no.
bake sale.
I think of fundraising.
No,
Right,
no.
right, right, right.
Okay,
big
thank you.
sale.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes,
Richard?
Yes,
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right. Article number 6. To see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer the sum of $250,000 from revenue available for appropriation to the other post-employment benefits irrevocable trust fund, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article number 6?
recommend, I vote to recommend.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
What is it?
yeah, what is that?
All right, it is the other post-employment benefits irrevocable trust fund is a fund that is set up basically for retirement. It's,
Town workers?
yes,
Yes.
yeah. Basically, we're supposed to be, the town's supposed to be putting money in there. All towns are supposed to be putting money into there. Most of them, including ours, are way behind in what it is, so we're putting $250,000 in there annually at the moment. And when possible, we'll put more in. But, yeah, as it's called, it's the OPEB. It's a legal requirement we are supposed to fund it.
Right.
But we're not funding it at the level we should, and no town is.
Okay.
There comes a point when you have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on
Yeah.
this fund, didn't-
And unfortunately, the number of people retiring is not as great to wipe it out. If everybody retired at once, then
We'd be in trouble.
there'd be some
Yeah.
serious trouble.
They're hoping, every town hopes that they all don't retire at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, they've only started putting the 250 in within the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Yes, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
another.
yeah, it first came up, it's only been up here while I've been on the board.
Right.
Before that, they weren't putting
What
anything.
happens if there is a run on the fund? Do you have to go out for a bond issue?
More than likely,
Yeah.
that's what would have to happen. And it probably wouldn't be just our town either.
No, I can't imagine it would be. It
No,
would be,
no.
it would be across the board.
In fact, it'd be a statewide thing.
How close to the zero line are we? I mean, every year, is there still money left year to year in the fund?
There's still money in the fund, yes, but it's not at a level where it needs to be to cover
Okay.
everybody. Any further discussion on Article 6? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Lucas? And I'm a yes. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to authorize the total expenditures for the following revolving funds pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E, 1/2 for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, to be expended in accordance with the bylaw establishing said revolving funds heretofore approved, or to take any other action relating thereto. Recreation, $625,000. Library, $20,000. Senior Center, $25,000. Historical Commission, $2,500. Is there a motion to recommend Article number 7?
I'll make a motion to recommend it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion on Article 7?
What are these funds used for?
Operation of recreation for, these are all revolving funds. This is money they take in, and then we're authorizing them to use those funds.
Ah, okay.
So whatever money recreation takes in, library takes in, senior center, and the historical commission, we're basically, they're saying they're gonna take in 625, this amount of money. We're saying, okay, you take that in, you can go ahead and spend it.
Is there any constraints on how they spend it?
They're paying the bills.
Yeah.
For example, it probably pays the recreation, let's say the school, the lifeguards and that type
Right.
of stuff.
Okay, I mean, it's somewhere under control.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It isn't that somebody's gonna use it for a party.
no. No, recreation would be for the staff they use during the summer and things like that for their programs.
Okay.
Any further discussion on Article 7? Hearing none, we will vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right, Article number 8. To see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer the sum of $250,000 from revenue available for appropriation to be deposited into the Special Injury Leave Indemnity Fund, Injury on Duty Fund, in accordance with the provisions of General Law, Chapter 41, Section 111F, for the purpose of funding injury, leave, compensation, or medical bills incurred under said law, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to
I'll
recommend?
make a motion to recommend.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on Article number 8?
Is this amount of money normally used? Is this how do we plug in the 250? Where did that come out of? Is it bills that we've had for years or?
This is a law that was just enacted a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And
Is state law?
it's a state law.
Okay.
So we established this fund a couple of years ago, and they've been putting $250,000 in it each year.
Each year, okay, so it's a standard amount, okay.
Yep.
I just wondered.
So far, they haven't come close to using that amount each year, but you never know.
Does it roll over? What does it happen to it?
Yes, no, it continues to build up.
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion on Article number 8? Hearing none, we will take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes,
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Article number 9. See if the town will vote to appropriate $575,902 to establish a budget for the PEG Access and Cable-Related Fund for fiscal year 2024, with said appropriation to be funded through the current balance of the fund, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article number 9?
Make the motion to recommend it.
Is there a second?
yes.
All right, discussion on Article number 9. So this is appropriating the money raised through cable fees for the local cable channel for them to spend.
Do we know why the select board held this?
They may not have had the amount.
I could contribute. That number is approximately equivalent to the revenue generated under the newly renewed licensing agreement between the town and Mashpee and Comcast.
Yeah.
Are they required to take a certain amount of public services that they have to provide, like this committee meeting, and put it on cable? Do they do that?
Yeah, I believe that's part of the contract.
A certain number of hours?
Any further discussion on Article 9? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes,
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Article number 10. To see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $12 million to fund completion of Phase 1 construction of the town's comprehensive nitrogen and wastewater management treatment and disposal improvement project, including sanitary sewer mains, lift stations, and related wastewater collection and treatment system improvements, including without limitation to all costs thereof as defined in Section 1 of Chapter 29C of the general laws, that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, is authorized to borrow $12 million and issue bonds or notes therefore under Chapter 44 of the general laws and/or Chapter 29C of the general laws. That the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, is authorized to borrow all or a portion of such amount from the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust established pursuant to Chapter 29C, and in connection therewith, to enter into a financing agreement with the trust and otherwise to contract with the trust and the Department of Environmental Protection with respect to such loan and for any federal or state aid available for the project or for the financing thereof, and that the select board and/or the town manager is authorized to enter into a project regulatory agreement with the Department of Environmental Protection to expend all funds available for the project and to take any other action necessary to carry out the project, and further, to authorize the select board and/or town manager to apply for and accept any federal, state, county, or other funds that may be available for the purpose, and to enter into any intermunicipal or other agreement necessary for acceptance of any such grants or funds which shall be used to offset the total appropriation authorized herein, provided, however, that this appropriation and debt authorization shall be contingent upon passage of Proposition 2.5 debt exclusion ballot question pursuant to General Law, Chapter 59, Section 21CK, or take any other action relating thereto.
Well done.
Thank you. Is there a motion to recommend Article number 10?
Well, I'll make the motion so we can talk about it.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All right, discussion on Article number 10.
I have a question, and that is, when the town voted on approving Phase 1 of this project, was there included in that vote the $12 million? I don't remember. I was there at the meeting, but I didn't remember that amount. Okay,
No.
There was not.
okay.
There was
Thank
not.
you. Thank you.
Do we have a final number of how big this alligator is?
No.
No.
It's going to be,
Would be a lot more than this 12 million.
Yes.
well, this is phase one.
Yeah.
They got the 54 million by shrinking the original phase one. And this is on top of that, putting other things into the system over there so they can expand it later on as well. So it's quite, I mean, and we've received some federal monies, but nowhere near what was promised. No state monies.
Well,
that I'm
don't we
aware
have a
of.
state loan that's at 0%?
Yes.
Yes,
That could be forgiven.
yes, could be.
There's a lot of ifs.
But it's been still a loan.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
long, so.
no.
But, for the sake of wastewater and the qualities of our rivers and streams, the townspeople demand it.
We just have, I know we have to do this, okay?
Yeah, we do.
I just want to know how big the alligator is.
No one can tell you that.
We're not,
No.
we're gonna know at the end of the whole tally.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that's how it comes out, right?
Right.
yeah,
That's
that's the only way.
that's the way we're gonna find out.
Unfortunately, it's not something that they can put an estimate that's gonna stay fixed at this point. Because there's too many moving parts.
And there'll always be a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I know.
But every town's facing this on the Cape, lots of problems,
We have
yeah.
to do it, I just wanted
Yeah.
to know how big the alligator is, okay? I mean, if it's 100 million, it's 100 million. At least we can know that.
My guess is if 12 million is here, that it's as close as we can get at this time.
At this point,
At
right.
this point in
Right,
time, yes.
right,
I mean, for this particular phase anyways.
right.
Yeah.
And
So-
I think that's more the point. It's the phase, and it's just gonna
Right.
continue.
And each time there's a phase, it will go before town meeting, and the voters will have to decide if they want to continue or not continue with the phase, or wait for a phase. It's up to the voters to determine that, and they're going to be determined on a lot of factors, and part of that factor is going to be how much their taxes are going to go up over time. And their taxes will go up, as we've seen. So,
Yowie.
but we have to do something.
Yep.
And this is a good start. The town's been working on it for some time. I think,
Yeah,
We don't have-
if it was put off anymore, it'd be even more than that.
right, correct, yeah.
I'm not arguing that.
No.
Yeah. Pay me now or pay me later.
That's it. I mean, we have to have.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the way it's been for years, is pay later.
Right.
Well, now,
Well, it's gonna come back and bite us in the
Yeah.
butt at some
Yeah.
point. We have to do something.
Right.
any further discussion on Article number 10? If not, we'll take a vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
I know, yes.
Oh, and it does have to go to a vote as well.
Ballot vote
Ballot
afterwards,
vote, yes.
So it's a two-pronged
Two-pronged
passage.
process, yeah.
All right, Article number 11, which we were talking about a little while ago. To see if the town will vote to authorize the treasurer upon the approval of the select board to borrow the sum of $8 million and to appropriate said sum for purposes of paying the costs of the following capital improvements, including all costs incidental and related thereto, as recommended by the Capital Improvement Program Committee. 1, purchase a new fire truck. 2, Mashpee Public Schools HVAC replacement, design, engineering, and construction / energy audit. 3, Town Hall HVAC water piping design and construction. 4, Police Department HVAC replacement, design, engineering, and construction. And 5, DPW roof replacement, design, engineering, and construction. Provided, however, that any borrowing authorized hereunder shall be expressly subject to and contingent upon approval by the voters of the town of a ballot question to exclude from the limitations of Proposition 2.5, General Law, Chapter 59, Section 21C, the amounts required to pay the principal and interest on any bonds, notes, or certificates of indebtedness issued hereunder, or take any other actions relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 11?
I'll make a motion to recommend it.
Second.
Discussion on Article 11.
What kind of fire truck is it that they're going to purchase? Is it a ladder truck?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So the fire chief came in with his request, and in doing that, he brought, so the fire department has, this one truck, it's called a Quinn, will replace 2 trucks in the fire department.
Is it a ladder truck?
But it's a part of it's a ladder truck, yes. The other part of it is, if I remember correctly, and I don't remember correctly, if it's a tanker type portion or something else that it does, but it does replace 2 trucks that are like 20-something years old each.
Is the
So it
ladder
must
truck,
be-
is the ladder truck one of those that expands up vertically? The old ladder trucks used to climb up like this, you know, driver in the back and all that stuff.
Right.
They're back in the dark ages. The newer ones are accordionized and go up and down vertically.
Right. I know it reaches the same height at the shorter base, so I would say it's probably doing what you're saying right there, how it works. I have not seen it myself, but I can tell you that the truck they have right now, that's 20-something years old, has got decay on it and needs to be
No,
replaced.
that's not the point I'm trying to get to, is that when they usually get one of those accordion type trucks, it's
Mm-hmm.
much higher. Will it fit in the firehouse?
Of course it will.
So,
Richard, you don't think the chief would have thought that through before he requested it?
In a town that I came from, that was not thought through.
Well, we got
but Greg.
We got a good
excuse
situation.
me,
a good fire chief.
It's one truck that's going to replace 2, so it does multiple?
It does
things
multiple
than the other
things, yes,
did?
yes. It does multiple things that's going to help the fire department in the end complete its mission. Where they also, these trucks that they're replacing, they're dated and
Well, yes.
they got rust going through. I mean, he brought photos. And so rather than just trusting the photos, I went down and inspected them.
No, I was just interested
I want to see
in,
what's going on.
I was just interested in, you know, the multi-facet of the truck.
Right, yes,
That's-
it's multi-purpose.
That's,
There you go.
that's what I was interested in.
Multi-purpose. I mean, if I could slap some Bondo in there, I would, but that's not going to fix this baby.
So the fire department didn't call you and ask you to do
No, they
that?
did not, for my expertise, no.
Prior town that I lived in, that was not the case. They ended up having to redo the fire station.
That's
They
not
did
good.
with a new fire truck that did not fit in the front door.
Wow. So that's the fire truck.
Any further discussion on Article number 11?
The police department, HVAC, is getting a completely new unit, but part of that is because there's an air quality issue at the police department. It really needs to be done. So that's an important part of that, and so.
We'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Okay. Article number 12, to see if the town will vote to raise, borrow, or transfer from available funds and appropriate the sum of $595,357 to provide for road improvement projects under Chapter 90, under the Chapter 90 program, or take any other action related thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article number 12? Is
I'll make the motion.
there a second?
I'll second it.
So this 595,000 will be fully reimbursed by the state. That's what the Chapter 90 is. This is authorizing us to make the payments ahead. Spend the money, we will then get the money completely back.
You're just gonna redo Route 151 because they chewed up.
Actually, it looks like a much less amount than it has been in the past.
Right.
And do you think the select board put it on hold because they didn't have the number yet?
That could be, more than likely, that would be the only reason to. Any further discussion on Article 12? We'll take a vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Article number 13, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $486,380 for the appropriation of the Kids Club Enterprise Fund for fiscal year 2024. Such sums to be raised from $486,380 in receipts of the enterprise or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a,
Make the motion
to recommend?
to recommend.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on Article 13? Hearing none. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer from the FY 2024 Community Preservation Fund estimated revenues the sum of $40,000 to the Community Preservation Committee Administrative and Operating Expense Account pursuant to the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44B, Section 5, including any necessary costs related thereto, as recommended by the Community Preservation Committee, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 14?
I recommend.
Is there a second? And we get a second. Any discussion on Article 14?
Why do they need 40,000?
It's to cover their administrative costs for the Community Preservation Committee.
What kind of cost did they have?
There could be engineering costs related to a project. There could be appraisals related to a project.
It says on here, funding supports
Oh, there you go.
legal and professional and technical reviews, appraisal costs, signage, annual community preservation coalition dues, administrative wages, office supplies, and similar cost, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well,
I know, I hear you.
Yeah, the Community Preservation Committee is not funded by the town, basically. They get all their money from
2%.
those funds, yes.
Right.
So this is just authorizing the taking of money that's estimated as revenues to allow them to spend for their administrative costs. Any other discussion on Article 14? Hearing none, we will take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right. Article 15. To see if the town will vote to continue participation in the Community Septic Management Program and the Massachusetts Water Pollution Abatement Trust for the purpose of making loans to residents of the town for repairing and/or upgrading residential septic systems pursuant to agreements between the Board of Health and the residential property owners, including all costs incidental and related thereto, or to take any other action relating thereto.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on Article 15?
The standard every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just authorizing
Yeah.
the town that we will participate in this
Right.
program.
And it's a good program. It helps people as it's needed, right?
I just wonder if it was every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we've got to reauthorize every year. Hearing no further discussion, we'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee? Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. 16 through 23. I will actually entertain a motion to put Articles 16 through 23 on hold.
So moved.
Motion? Right, I'll second it, whoever people do it.
Any discussion on whether or not to put these on hold? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Yeah, these are all the contract articles that we'll have to vote on eventually, but none of them have any amounts, so.
Yeah.
So, put them on hold.
Well,
Richard?
yeah.
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so we'll put all those on hold. Gets us to the halfway point.
Doing well.
Yeah, Article 24, on page 21. To see if the town will vote to transfer the care, custody, management, and control of the following parcel of town-owned land to the select board for the purpose of sale or lease in conjunction with use of the abutting Boys and Girls Club of Cape Cod, Inc. parcel, a portion of land shown on Assessor's Map 67 as Block 1, and more particularly described on a plan entitled Proposed Boys and Girls Club Expansion dated September 8, 2008, a copy of which is on file in the office of the town clerk, and to authorize the select board to execute a deed or a lease therefore on such terms as the select board shall deem proper, and further to authorize the select board to petition the general court as may be necessary for special legislation authorizing such sale or lease or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 24?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion on Article 24.
Looks like they're growing.
Looks like we've been talking about this growth for quite a while.
Yeah, it
Right.
does, doesn't it?
Probably needed it quite a while, too.
Was there a dollar amount in here somewhere?
No.
I'm seeing.
It's just transferring from the town
Yeah, I see, yeah.
to the select board.
Yeah, it's probably the town owns it, just giving the select board authorization to oversee it. And enter into an agreement with the club, the Boys and Girls Club. No further discussion, we'll take a vote to recommend. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Article 25, to see if the town will appropriate and transfer the sum of $152,956 from revenue available for appropriation to the Human Services opioid settlement account, said funds to be expended by Human Services Director upon approval of the Human Services Committee or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 25?
I recommend.
I'll second.
All right, discussion on Article 25.
I was at the,
This is new. The Human Services Director individual was there last, at our last meeting, mentioning that this is state money that's coming in.
Oh, okay, so we don't have a lawsuit against us?
No, no, this is the opioid, part of the opioid settlement,
Okay,
that they will be dispersing to contracted individuals for programs.
I was at the department meetings where the Director of Human Services were there, and she did talk about this. And she persuaded me that we should transfer the sum. I mean, she didn't have an amount then, but her talk was very persuasive, I must say. It's needed.
Would like to take a vote, but we just lost the number for a moment. And take a, let's take a preliminary vote anyways. Glenn?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes?
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie? And I'm a yes, so we're at 6-0, and we'll get Richard's vote when he comes back. All right.
I wonder if anybody's watching this on TV. I'd be like,
And some will.
well,
I
I
have a
would,
neighbor who's watching because she knows I'm on the committee.
Ah,
I tried to persuade her not to.
well, since I sit and watch the John's zoning board, he ought to be watching mine, but I doubt it.
do you watch this?
I
You
wa,
watch it?
well, he's the chair, my husband's the
Yeah.
chairman, so yes, I
You
do.
have it on and you do other things.
Well, I do have, it depends on,
That's what
it
I do.
depends on how riveted I get to what's going on, but yes.
can you get a motion to table Article 20, the final vote on 25?
So moved.
Okay, second.
Any opposition to tabling 25?
Oh, no, that's the one we just voted on.
Well, yeah,
No.
it's not
Okay, sure.
complete yet, so
Yeah.
just table it
That's
so we
fine, sure.
can move on.
Yeah.
All right, any opposition? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent, tabled at the moment with a vote of 6-0. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to amend its general bylaw, Chapter 170, use of waterways by adding the following section, prohibiting the use of any engine or motor in excess of 10 horsepower, and regulating speed to headway speed on Santuit Pond. Not reading the rest of it. Is there a motion to recommend Article 26?
I move to recommend Article 26.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, we can talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, this was one that was carried over from last October,
Yeah.
Yes.
when they couldn't decide what the speed was, or horsepower, or anything like that. Who's this? All right, this is submitted by Department of Natural Resources.
So I understand why there's a need for this, but I guess I don't understand why they took it off last town meeting and saved it for now, and are
And
they
my-
just worried that it won't
Right.
pass and then they can't bring it up again for?
And my understanding was this was supposed to be brought back in October, and it was pushed forward, so, I don't know.
I think one of the reasons it was put off, because they had, the public, I don't think it had enough notice about this,
Yes, I think that's
was,
right.
was a big part of it.
And also, I believe the point was to provide lots of education and communication, so people would understand it better.
Right. And I think there was also some lack of clarity on what they were talking about as far as horsepower and the size of the engines and things like that last time.
In the beginning, I believe they wanted to ban almost all boats, and then that, of course, was not very popular, and so it was put off.
Well, it's
And I-
fishing boats, they wanted the speed, so they can trawl as they go a little bit, so.
Did they, I don't remember them, the operational vessels owned and operated by government agencies and so on and so forth were included in that last time, was it?
That's a good point.
Yeah, they
I don't
had,
think
they had the
so.
exclusion, yeah, for the
Yeah.
environmental police and the other people.
Right.
You have to zip out for safety reasons or others. They can zip out.
And I don't think it said giving them a grace, the abutters have a one-year grace period. I don't think
Right.
that was in there.
No, it
This is-
wasn't.
This has been added.
And I think the purpose was added as well.
Yeah, that's probably, that was probably why, part of why they withheld it.
Right.
To clean it up.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. Any further discussion on Article 26? Hearing none, we will take a vote to recommend Article 26. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes,
Glenn?
Yes.
I'm a yes. All right. Can I get a motion to remove Article 25 from the table and bring it back into discussion?
So moved.
Second? Any opposition? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Richard, would just let you know, it's currently 6 votes to recommend Article 25.
Yes.
Just wanted to get your vote.
yes.
Thank you, 7-0 to recommend Article number 25. Thank you very much. Brings us to Article 27. To see if the town will vote to upgrade one part-time administrative secretary position, 19 hours per week without benefits, to a full-time administrative secretary position within the Department of Natural Resources, with said position to be classified under the clerical union, to be effective July 1, 2023, and to appropriate and transfer the sum of $66,005.15 from revenue available for appropriation, with said funds to be distributed as follows: $26,190 to the Department of Natural Resources full-time salary account, $379.76 to the Medicare account, $26,811 for the town's portion of health insurance, $34.56 for the town's portion of life insurance, and $12,589.83 to Barnstable County Retirement, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 27?
Motion to recommend 27.
Second?
I second.
All right, discussion on Article 27. Hearing none, I'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard? Glenn?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Article 28, to see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer the sum of $75,000 from the Waterways Improvement Fund to the engineering permitting dredging and associated expense account, or take any other action relating thereto.
Recommend.
Second.
All right, any discussion on Article 28?
I'm just curious where they're dredging. It says various waterways, but
I know that they had done pumping us at the area, at least last year, the year before.
is that paid for by this?
Oh, I don't know.
Usually, the dredgings come out of these funds.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, I think they've, normally in the past, they've done a separate article for each area they want to dredge, identifying it. I think they're looking to speed things up a little bit and just put them all under one article.
Right.
I remember they used to have, you used to always see a couple of different articles for related to dredging.
Right.
They'd identify which one area they were dredging.
Correct.
I wonder if they're keeping it free to see who needs it.
That could be, yeah.
Any other discussion on Article 28? Hearing none, we will take a vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right. Article 29.
Make a motion to hold.
Let me at least read it into the record. To see if the town will vote to amend section 17425 H12 of the Mashpee zoning bylaw table of use regulations by adding the letters SP located in the columns identified as C1 and C2, and further by deleting the phrase provided that neighboring properties are effectively protected from any significant adverse impacts from glare, that any such systems are properly fenced or otherwise secured, and that no hazardous materials are stored in quantities greater than permitted by other sections of this bylaw, subject to approval by the Plan Review Committee and Design Review Committee under the type of use column, and replacing that phrase with subject to the provisions of section 174-45.7. Motion to put on hold, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I want to know why you put it on hold.
Well, I don't know what a medium scale and large scale ground monitor system, what's that? What is this? What size is that? What are they talking about exactly? So it's a little ambiguous to me.
Okay.
I just would like some more information about, that's all.
Okay. And I noticed that the select board has it on hold as
Correct.
well. So
Yeah.
there's more questions.
And what's the need for the change?
Yes, I don't quite understand why the change has to do with adding the letters SP
Right.
in the columns. That doesn't make much sense.
There's no dollar amounts in here anywhere. Not a dollar.
No, but I think all of
No.
this has to do with changing the.
Yeah. no.
Terminology.
Terminology, yeah.
Okay, anything else? Any opposition to putting Article 29 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent on hold. If you have the questions, let me know. And I'll send them off to the town manager, in addition to the two you just mentioned.
Right.
Article 30, to see if the town will vote to amend section 174-31 land space requirements table by referencing footnote 15 in the minimum lot frontage column title and adding new footnote 15 to read as follows. 15 minimum lot frontage required for the development of solar energy systems shall be 25 feet. Motion regarding Article 31, Article 30.
Make a motion to hold.
I second it.
Discussion on putting on Article 30 on hold.
There's no dollar amounts here either.
No, there won't be, there won't be.
No.
I'm curious to know why the change in the bylaw. What's motivating this change? I'd like to hear from the committee.
Is that from the planning board? Alright. Any objection to putting Article 30 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Article 30 is on hold. Article 31, to see if the town will vote to add new section 174, 45.7 solar energy systems to the Mashpee zoning bylaws as follows.
Put this one on hold.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
All right. Oh, yeah, it always is.
I know.
This has been on 3 warrants.
Yes,
This
I
is the
know.
3rd warrant article it's been on,
Right.
Yes.
and I don't think it gets any shorter.
Oh, it seems to get longer.
Would it
Well,
make
the more
any
they explain, the
sense?
more worse it gets.
Yeah, would it make any sense for somebody from the planning board to come and explain this in shorter than what we have here?
Yeah.
We can ask that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Can-
In other words, sort of a short
Request their
summary.
presence.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be the
Probably 29,
chairperson,
30,
it could
and
be somebody
31 all?
Yeah, all of the,
Yeah,
I think 29 goes with the planning board, right?
correct.
Yep.
all the solar.
And why did the select board hold these two?
They could be waiting for this.
Okay, yeah.
Here. Alright. Alright. Any further discussion on the 31? Hearing none. Any opposition to putting Article 31 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Opens to 32, which is where? All right. Article 32. All right, to see if the town will vote to upgrade and create positions at the library and to appropriate funding therefore as follows. Upgrade 1 part-time library assistant, youth services, 19 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU, grade 3, to a new full-time library assistant youth services position, 37 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU, grade 3, to be effective July 1, 2023, and to appropriate and transfer the sum of $59,267.88 from revenue available for appropriation, with said funds to be distributed as follows: $20,405 to the library full-time clerical salary account, medical insurance account, $27,882. Group life insurance account, $34.56. Medicare account, $616.39, and $10,329.93 to pension reserve account. Upgrade 1, part-time library assistant, adult services, 19 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU grade 3, to a new full-time library assistant, adult services position, 37 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU grade 3, to be effective July 1, 2023, and to appropriate and transfer the sum of $58,042.06 from revenue available for appropriation, with said funds to be distributed as follows: $19,465 to the library full-time clerical salary account, medical insurance account, $27,882, group life insurance account, $34.56, Medicare account, $600.30, and $10,060.20 to pension reserve account. Upgrade 1, part-time circulation assistant, 19 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU grade 2, to a new full-time circulation assistant position, 37 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU grade 2, to be effective July 1, 2023, and to appropriate and transfer the sum of $55,820.54 from revenue available for appropriation, with said funds to be distributed as follows: $18,417.75 to the library full-time clerical salary account, medical insurance account, $27,882, group life insurance account, $34.56, Medicare account, $534.11, and $8,952.12 to pension reserve account, or take any other action relating thereto.
I make a
Move to
motion.
recommend.
I'll second it.
Yeah,
All right, any discussion on Article 32?
I think the librarian did a very good job when she came in here.
She did.
Yes, she did.
I mean, for those that don't know, we've been working with the library staff for a couple months now, talking about this and the need for the increase in staff, particularly since the numbers have grown in Mashpee, and if these numbers aren't, if we don't increase, there's a possibility we could lose services from there. So I
Yeah.
think it's an important thing that we keep as a town.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was interesting when she said, based on the number of residents.
Right.
That they had to
And if you don't do this, we could be decertified
certify and lose clams.
and lose clamps, right?
Yep.
So it's a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
And they upgraded their system and my son wanted to do something and couldn't, he had to go down to the library. And evidently, it's the whole entire library system, so people who want to get some books all had the problems.
Yeah.
They had to.
Any further discussion? All right, we'll take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes,
Glenn?
Yes.
Amy, yes. All right, Article 33, to see if the town will vote to create one full-time circulation assistant position at the library, 37 and a half hours per week, classified SEIU grade 2, to be effective July 1, 2023, and to appropriate the
Yeah, you read it right. It's-
yeah, to the, and transfer the sum of $37,402.79 from revenue available for appropriation, with said funds to be distributed as follows: medical insurance account, $27,882, group life insurance account, $34.56, Medicare account, $534.11, and $8,952.12 to pension revenue account, pension reserve account, or take any other action relating thereto. Motion for Article.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we got a motion to recommend Article number 33. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Glenn?
Yes.
Richard?
yes,
Lee?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Darlene? Jamie?
Yes.
I'm a yes. All right, Article 34, To see if the town will vote to appropriate and transfer the sum of $507,000 and $250 from the ambulance reserved receipts account, with said funds to be distributed as follows: $500,000 to the fire department overtime salary account and $7,250 to the Medicare expense account, or take any other action relating thereto. Motion to recommend Article 34.
Motion to recommend.
Second.
Okay. Discussion on Article 34.
I wonder why the select board put it on hold.
They probably didn't have the money, the numbers yet.
Numbers.
No, the numbers were there.
Really?
Yep.
And it's being paid for by the ambulance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wonder why it's on hold. They had a reason. I don't see one.
Any other discussion on Article 34? Take a vote. Jamie?
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Yeah, Glenn, and I'm a yes. All right, Article 35, to see if the town will vote to amend Section 172-2 jurisdiction of General Bylaw, Chapter 172, wetlands, to increase the current 100-foot buffer zone to wetlands to 150 feet as follows. Except as permitted by the Conservation Commission or as provided in this bylaw, no person shall commence to remove, fill, dredge, build upon, degrade, discharge into, or otherwise alter the following resource areas: any freshwater or coastal wetlands, marshes, wet meadows, bogs, swamps, vernal pools, banks, lakes, ponds, streams, creeks, beaches, dunes, estuaries, the ocean, lands under water bodies, lands subject to flooding or inundation by groundwater or surface water, lands subject to tidal action, coastal storm flowage or flooding, lands within 150 feet of any of the aforesaid resource areas, rivers, and lands within 200 feet of rivers, collectively the resource areas protected by this bylaw. Said resources shall be protected whether or not they border surface waters.
Motion to hold?
We got a motion to hold, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I'd like to know why you want to hold it.
I'd like to hear from the conservation agent or someone from the Conservation Committee to understand their reasoning behind this, the data they have with this, and to make sure that this is, being put forward in good faith for the townspeople, as well as those that are concerned about the wastewater and the phosphorus in the water.
Right.
So how does it affect that? And how do they know it will help it, and how long will it take till they'll know if it helps it or not, if they put that buffer zone there? And what's it mean to people's property?
That's what I was thinking, but
Yeah.
along with all of that.
Yeah,
what's
but
it
Yeah,
mean?
I
there's a-
understand, yeah.
Existing property was not going to be affected. It's only going to be new property. That's all this is going to affect.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
I
don't,
mean, if somebody has a septic system that's within 100 feet now, they'd have to move it? I don't think so.
I'd like to get clarification.
I don't think that's the case. Three other New England states have 200-foot borders.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Any opposition to putting Article 35 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Article 36. To see if the town will vote to amend Section 172-7A1 permits, determinations, and conditions of General Bylaw, Chapter 172 wetlands to increase the current 100-foot buffer zone to wetlands to 150 feet, increase the current requirement of a 50-foot naturally vegetated buffer strip, NVBS, to 75 feet as follows, yada, yada, yada.
I'll do the same.
And I'll
Recommend
second
the
that, just to go along with
Right.
the first one.
We
We have to
gotta-
get clarification on the first one.
Well, they're here to answer that one. They
That's
could
right.
help us with this one too.
So we've got a motion to hold. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion. Any opposition to putting Article 36 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent.
I would guess that the select board maybe had more information than we do because they have voted for it. They may know an awful lot more about it.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Probably. Article 37, to see if the town will vote to authorize and empower the select board to prepare a plan laying out and defining Watson Drive and to accomplish said purpose, and for expenses related thereto, the town votes to appropriate and transfer from revenue available for appropriation $10,000 to the Watson Drive roadways account, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 37?
Motion to recommend Article 37.
Is there a second?
Second.
Why did the select board put this on hold?
Don't know.
Here's Watson Drive.
Where is it?
It's on the back, there's a picture of the back. On page 43. But I don't know where it is either.
Just kind of a run over from the prior two articles?
What's that?
I wonder if it's just a kind of a run over from Article 35 and 36. The 37 is also on hold. 38's on hold. Why all these?
I think those are unrelated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Watson Drive is not.
Yeah, these are petition articles.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So this is the citizens of that area petition
Yeah.
for a road taking, basically.
Right, they want the town to take the road.
And so this is the first of a two-step process, which is they've got to lay out the plans and everything. And the town then recoups it through abatements.
Then they get to maintain it.
Yeah, then we get the recurring costs of maintaining the roads. Any further discussion on Article 37? Take a vote. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes,
Are we voting to approve or are we voting to?
It's a vote to recommend. All
recommend, vote to recommend.
I say no.
right. Glenn? And I'm a yes. All right, Article 38. To see if the town will vote to amend its bylaws by amending Chapter 172 Wetlands, 172, Section 172-2 jurisdiction to increase the buffer zone to wetlands by replacing the words 100 feet of any of the aforesaid resource areas with the words 150 feet of any of the aforesaid resource areas, or take any other action relating thereto.
That sounds very familiar.
This is the petition article.
Right, so there are lots of duplicate articles you'll see, because some people, there's these articles by committees, and other people decided, well, just in case, let's put our own in there.
Oh, is that what happens?
That's what
Yes,
happened.
that's what this
So
is.
this is just a citizen petitioning for the same thing that the planning
Right,
board
yes.
does.
I'm just gonna get sorted out.
Because what happens is, say the select board wanted to remove that,
The planning boards?
yes, they could
Hers
remove
would
it,
still be there.
and it would still be there by petition.
And the select board can't remove a petition article.
Right.
Is she in cahoots with the planning board on this one?
I'm making a motion to hold.
And I'll second that motion.
All right, any discussion on putting it on hold? Hearing none. Any opposition to putting Article 38 on hold? Hearing none. Passed by unanimous consent. Article 38 is on hold. Article 39, to see if the town will vote to amend subsection 172-7A1 of its wetlands bylaws by replacing the term 100 feet in its first sentence with the term 150 feet, replacing the term 100 foot in its third sentence with the term 150 foot, and replacing the term 50 feet in its fifth sentence with the term 75 feet, or take any other action relating thereto. They're specific.
Motion to hold?
And I was gonna say, can we just put this one on hold? I'll second that motion.
It sounds like these are the same articles.
Yep.
Any further discussion on Article 39? Alright, hearing none. Any opposition to putting Article 39 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Article 39 is on hold.
Are we gonna bring in somebody from the Natural Resources Department to explain this to us? Somebody has to come in.
We've got somebody, we're gonna request somebody from the Conservation Committee to explain their articles.
Right,
Okay.
right.
But these aren't their articles.
No,
These
these are
are
individuals.
citizens,
Oh,
yes. The same citizens. Article 40, to see if the town will vote to authorize and empower the select board to prepare a plan laying out and defining Blue Castle Drive, and to accomplish said purpose, and for expenses related thereto, the town vote to appropriate and transfer from revenue available for appropriation $10,000 to the Blue Castle roadways account, or take any other action relating thereto. Is there a motion to recommend Article 40?
I recommend that we hold.
I'll second that.
Motion to put Article 40 on hold. Any discussion?
Well, this looks like a similar one to the other one we just did.
Yes.
But, oh, we did vote on that one, didn't we?
Yes.
I mean, we recommended it.
Right, so it's.
Well, and,
it's-
okay,
It's a roadway. thing.
It's the roadway taking.
okay. I-
This is not the,
I was thinking that the select board had voted to hold it, and I didn't know if there were more questions about
I thought the same
why
thing.
this wouldn't be done, or why wouldn't they have voted on it.
Did we see that before?
Of course, I think they put the other one on hold too.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
That's fine,
I
whatever.
will,
They didn't vote on any of the petition articles, the select board.
Oh.
They stopped at 36.
oh, I see,
So
okay,
that all of
okay.
those were
Okay,
just
so
not
it's, okay,
reviewed.
fine, thank you. Can I rescind my
You want to
recommendation?
rescind? You can take back?
Recommendation.
Are you okay with
I'm
taking?
fine.
All right?
Okay.
Would you like to make
I
another?
moved to
I will recommend that we approve this,
Article
Second.
40.
Article
Yeah, so we've got a motion to recommend Article 40. Is there a second?
Jamie did.
Oh, you are?
Second,
Okay.
yes.
All right, discussion on Article 40. Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll take a vote to recommend Article 40. Jamie?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Richard? Glenn? And I'm a yes. Article 41, to see if the town will vote to approve the following additions pertaining to Santuit Pond to the waterways regulations, Chapter 170, prohibit the use of any engine or motor over 10 horsepower and regulate speed to headway speed, specific language below. Okay. We'll take a, is there a motion to recommend? This is a petition article like the one we already,
What are the differences, though? Then, all.
I'd recommend the whole.
thank you, all right.
I'll second that.
All right, yeah, recommendation to hold. Any discussion on Article 41? Get on into it.
What page? Oh, Santuit Pond, okay. On page 21?
Oh, there it is, Article
22.
26.
Yeah. 21, 22. Let him see.
Yeah, this is a,
Looks all,
Is it identical?
Yeah.
I mean, it does look identical.
Other than the fact that
this is another.
there's a purpose in 26. And I'm assuming the a butter section is probably better defined in 26.
I just want to know if it's identical.
Oh, it's not identical, no.
So how does that work for town meeting then, if there are two identical?
If the first one passed, then the petitioner could withdraw.
right.
Could,
Yes.
do they? Or
Frequently,
does
yes.
it get voted on twice then?
Well,
It depends on what are the big differences.
You really don't want that to happen, because the wording is different between
Right.
the articles, and it could be just confusion.
I mean, usually if something like that happens, I've seen them removed, or they could be removed at the meeting itself.
yeah.
So there's no sense of having two if they're both.
Yeah,
Right, if the first one passes, there's no
Right.
sense
Right.
of the petitioner going forward.
You know, the interest, if I could just inject here, I've been thinking about this. Any of these. Thank you, Rodney. Any article in the warrant can be, reconsideration can be sought if the notification of that is made within 30 minutes of the vote having been taken. So I can see a theoretical scenario where on any of these duplicated articles, one by a town committee and one by a petitioner, could be voted up or down, and then a request for reconsideration could be made within 30 minutes of that vote, and then it could come up yet again when it's on the warrant for the petition version of the same article, which also could be eligible for reconsideration. So there are potentially 4 bites at the apple, and the outcome on any of those 4 votes could be the same or could be different. So the scenarios are fascinating.
You'll be busy.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
End of commentary.
I'm thinking in terms of what time are we getting out that night?
The next day.
It's just one night.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, John. But it's
It's
interesting.
We've got a motion to put this on hold.
Yeah,
Yes.
Second.
Any further discussion?
42 and 43. 43 is another.
We haven't gotten to those yet.
Look at that.
Any opposition to putting Article 41 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Article 42, to see if the town will vote to amend Section 174-25H12 of the Mashpee zoning bylaw, table of use regulations by replacing Section 174-25H12 in its entirety with the following. Is there a motion?
Motion to hold.
Get a motion.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on 42? All right. Any opposition to putting Article 42 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Article 43. Let's see if the town will vote to add new Section 174-45-.7, solar energy systems to the Mashpee zoning bylaws as follows, yada, yada, yada.
Motion to hold.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on Article 43, putting it on hold? Hearing none. Any opposition to putting Article 43 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent, it is on hold. Brings us to Article 44. I saw it back here. Article 44. There it is.
What page is it on? 41.
Page 41. To see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaws by deleting in its entirety Section 174-17.1, raise and replace, or take any other action relating thereto.
Motion to hold.
I second that motion.
Any discussion on 44?
Who do we ask for more information on this one?
Yeah, it's a very,
Yeah,
there's no
The petitioner?
I think so, but I'm going to ask Mr. Collins regarding any of the petition articles. How do we get?
I wouldn't mind hearing what the Board of Appeals feels about this.
Okay, that's a good,
Because it falls under their jurisdiction.
yep.
And the town voted this in back in 2018, so it's pretty recent, so I'd like to hear their opinion about it.
All right. Any further discussion on Article 44? Hearing none, any opposition to putting Article 44 on hold? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent, Article 44 is on hold. All right. That brings us to, I will be sending out updated list. Well, you've already got, I've updated the assignments for the writing up of the explanations to include Glenn. So you now get to have fun. I've emailed you copies of our 2022 Finance Committee reports, so you can see how we wrote up our explanations in the past.
Okay.
Quite often, a lot of these articles are the same from year to year, so we quite often use very similar language each year.
Good. Cut and paste.
Yeah, that's right. We may just make sure that the wording still pertains, especially if there's any amounts or anything, we usually have to change those. So when you get your explanation drafts written up, you just email them to me, and I'll put them all together in one document, and we'll go over them all at once. All right,
Should we start working on those now?
If
or-
you can, if you've got the information you feel you need, go for it.
Okay.
And if we were assigned one that's on hold, however, shall we just wait?
You can go ahead and start writing it up, even if it's on hold. If you feel you've got enough to write the explanation.
And the updated, I put them all together.
So I've got no additional topics. Anybody else?
When's our next meeting, Mr. Chairman?
Next Thursday in this room. Yep.
I hope people are aware, I'd like to hear, it'd be nice to have some public come in and make comments on some of these things. If anyone's out there to make comments on any of these things.
Are we on TV?
Next meeting is March 16th in this room.
Okay,
We get to be televised again.
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Any opposition? Hearing none, passed by unanimous consent. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.